Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Victor's revenge on Kane. Amy's crushing blow. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of July 28th to August 1st state that Victor Newman will seek revenge on Kane Ashby, while Phyllis Summers embarks on another perilous plan. Amy Lewis will also receive a terrible blow. So let's discuss what's coming up on Y&R. Carter will set up a hostage situation in Nice, which will culminate in a climactic confrontation with Chance Chancellor. After Chance is shot and killed, Carter will take one final shot at himself. Kane will receive an apology from Lily Winters after she is free of Carter's hands. Lily will be sorry for accusing Kane of murder because she knows he is incapable of doing so deep down. Kane has gained a lot of new enemies as a result of the chaos on his summer home, but he is determined to return to Genoa City and carry out his plans there. That includes Kane's attempts to mend the rift with Lily and win her back. Meanwhile, cell service will be turned on, allowing all guests to reconnect with their loved ones in Genoa City. Lily will keep Nate updated on Damian Kane's dire situation, so he may break Amy's heart by informing her that her son will not return home. Chance's grim conclusion will also spread, leaving all of his loved ones to lament a horrible loss. While Nick Newman is injured and possibly not thinking straight, he will kiss Sharon Newman and complicate things for them once they return home. Will Nick regret crossing that romantic line with Sharon once his wound is healed? Adam and Victoria Newman will continue to make improvements in their sibling connection. Victoria and Adam have recently created some peace between themselves, and they intend to maintain it. That will be music to Victor's ears as he concentrates on family unity. Victor will also want to make sure Kane learns a terrible lesson, so it appears like revenge is on the way. When Kyle Abbott and Audra Charles discover a way to play with fire again, reality will strike hard for Kyle. Kyle will be devastated to learn that Cole Howard died, and that he was unable to help Claire Newman during this time. Kyle will also offer Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott reason to be concerned about him. Diane and Jack are used to Kyle getting into trouble, so this is nothing new. Daniel Romalotti Jr. will smell danger coming when Phyllis gambles on a fresh strategy. This could involve Phyllis's partnership with Billy Abbott, and their eventual purpose of using Kane to pursue Chancellor. After Daniel sounds the alarm, he will return to Tessa Porter's rescue. Tessa will be trying to entertain Aria Porter Copeland alone in the park, so Daniel may join in when he sees them. According to previews for The Young and the Restless, the week of July-August 28th will feature some stronger relationships and startling situations. Kane's sacrifice for Lily resulted in 2 deaths. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, July 28th reveal that Nick Newman will kiss Sharon Newman, and Kane Ashby's sacrifice for Lily Winters results in 2 deaths. Once Nick is aboard the train, he will push Sharon to stay with him while grunting about his injury. After a nice moment, Nick will invite Sharon to move closer and eventually land a kiss on her. Sally Spectra will hike down to see how far the rails have come, only to discover that they were completed 2 days before. Meanwhile, Lauren Fenmore Baldwin will try to persuade Nikki Newman not to sacrifice Chancellor for Nick's freedom. On Monday's episode of Y&R, Nikki will be determined to preserve her son, but she will not sign anything until she sees Nick in person. Amanda Sinclair will accompany Nikki and Lauren to the storage room, and they will all be concerned about the blood left over after Nick's tragedy. Victor Newman will continue to eavesdrop on Chance Chancellor, as Kane attempts to extract a murder confession from Carter.
When the security officer interrupts Kane with news of Nick's injury and escape with Sharon, Victor rushes off to find them. Once Victor is on the train, he'll get the inside scoop from Nick and Sharon about their escape. Amanda will restore cell service and immediately contact the police to the estate. When Nikki complains about Nick getting harmed on the train, everyone realizes the cell signal has returned. Victor would assume it's because Kane realizes he's lost and is ready to send everyone home. Sharon will phone Adam Newman and request that he send some aid for Nick before the sound of a helicopter is heard. Back with Kane, he'll persuade Carter that Damian posed a threat to his boss's ideal reunion with Lily. Carter will explain his precise strategy as flashbacks reveal he was the culprit. After requesting assistance and leaving the country, Carter will wish to alter his name and start anew. Kane makes it obvious that this is not going to happen, however he does imply Amanda may be willing to defend Carter as a client. Once Chance emerges from hiding, he intends to hold Carter until the authorities arrive. Carter will be outraged that Kane has turned against him after all of his loyalty. When Lily appears, Carter will draw a revolver and kidnap her so he may flee the mansion. As Carter and Lily make their way through the maze, Billy Abbott will come across them and attempt to talk Carter down. Kane and Chance will eventually catch up with the rest of them, so Kane will trade himself for Lily as a hostage. When Carter lets Lily go and keeps his weapon on Kane, he'll decide to kill his boss and leave Lily in shock. Chance will leap in front of Kane and wrestle with Carter over the rifle, which will shoot into Chance's chest. Chance will understand he isn't going to make it and will want Dominic Newman Abbott Winter's Chancellor to know he loves him. Billy, Kane, and Lily will all gather around as they discover Chance has died. Carter will also commit suicide, thus Kane will discover his body after hearing another gunshot. When Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott learn of the atrocity, Jack will blast Kane for his disastrous party. Lily will only want to go home, therefore Kane will insist on arranging it. After Lily apologizes for accusing Kane of murder, she will admit that is not something he would do. Finally, Kane will not give up on his aim of reuniting with Lily and starting a new life in Genoa City. After hearing about all of the Chance and Carter drama, Phyllis Summers will assume Billy no longer wants Kane as an ally. Billy is determined to work with Kane to find Chancellor, so he will enlist Phyllis's help. According to the Young and the Restless spoilers, Kane will face new challenges, so stay tuned for updates on all of his forthcoming movements. Deadly threat follows Kane to GC. Is someone still out for blood? According to the Young and the Restless spoilers, Kane Ashby could face a terrible threat when he returns to Genoa City. Will Kane discover that someone is still out for blood? Carter killed Damian Kane, and he will eventually be held accountable for Chance Chancellor's death in the July 28 episode. Carter's suicide may appear to mark the end of this nightmare. However, there are a few important reasons why it may not be so simple. For starters, Kane invited Chance to his summer estate because he suspected someone was attempting to kill him. Why was Kane so worried about it, and was there any truth to it? Carter was targeting Damian, but there could be another threat to Kane. If that's the case, Kane's choice to return to GC could jeopardize his old turf. No matter how many times Kane claims he acquired his wealth properly, it's difficult to imagine he accumulated such a large fortune in such a short period of time. With Colin Atkinson involved, you can never be sure that Kane's story is truthful. Colin apparently wanted everything to be legitimate as he sought to make right with Kane, but he was a rascal at heart and could have been lying. There may be some unscrupulous persons that are upset because they were duped along the road. Kane may still be a target as a result, which is an intriguing YNR plot point to consider. Of course, Kane made a lot of enemies during this awful gathering in Nice. What was supposed to be a glamorous party turned into a horror show, resulting in the deaths of 3 people. Furthermore, Kane lied about there being no cell service and no way off the mountain. Fans witnessed Kane construct a hostage situation, particularly for Sharon and Nick Newman, who nearly died as a result of his captive stay gone awry. If someone makes an attempt on Kane's life in GC, there will be plenty of suspects. Kane may be concerned that Victor Newman or someone else he has enraged may seek to wipe him off the map. Bottom line, the threat may not be finished yet. Kane may not be able to escape a fatal revenge plot if it follows him to Genoa City, so stick with us for updates on any disturbing news that's looming. Victor Newman's revenge on Kane Ashby is set to erupt during the week of July 28 to August 1 on The Young and the Restless, as Kane's catastrophic summer estate gathering, which already left a trail of 3 deaths and the whole Newman Abbott Chancellor circle shaken, spirals into a vendetta that threatens Kane's return to Genoa City while Amy Lewis suffers a crushing emotional blow over the confirmed loss of her son, Damian Kane, whose grim fate is revealed by Nate Hastings after Lily Winters escapes Carter's grasp and apologizes to Kane for wrongly accusing him of murder, admitting deep down she knows he's not a killer. Yet despite Lily's softened stance, Kane faces a mounting storm as Victor, having watched from the sidelines while Kane's disastrous decisions put Nick Newman, Sharon Newman, and Chance Chancellor in mortal danger. Quietly vows to teach Kane a brutal lesson that could cost Kane his wealth, freedom, or even his life. with Victor using his resources to dismantle Kane's empire brick by brick under the guise of ensuring family unity, especially now that Adam Newman and Victoria Newman have forged a fragile truce that pleases their father and strengthens his focus on external enemies rather than internal conflict, meaning Kane's empire and reputation could be Victor's next conquest, while Amy reels from Nate's news that Damien is never coming home, her grief compounded by the revelation that Carter, the same man who orchestrated Damien's demise, also triggered Chance's death by pulling a gun on Lily and forcing a final standoff that led to Chance jumping in front of Kane and taking a fatal bullet to the chest, gasping out a last message of love for his son Dominic as Lily, Kane, Billy Abbott, and others looked on in horror before Carter, realizing his escape dreams were dead, used his last bullet to end his own life, leaving Kane to discover his corpse. Echoing through the estate with one final gunshot, a scene that not only cements the horror of the nice ordeal but also leaves Kane carrying the stain of a night that saw Damien, Chance, and Carter perish, sparking Jack Abbott's rage over Kane's party gone wrong and Diane Jenkins Abbott's fretting over Kyle Abbott, who is reeling himself after learning Cole Howard passed away and regretting that he wasn't by Claire Newman's side to support her, even as Kyle continues to play with fire. Alongside Audra Charles in ways that will have Diane and Jack wringing their hands anew, while Kane, undeterred by Jack's wrath or Lily's grief, refuses to abandon his twin goals of winning Lily back and cementing his place in Genoa City, even as whispers swirl that Kane's fortune, amassed suspiciously fast and rumored to involve Colin Atkinson's shady dealings, may have drawn the ire of unsavory figures beyond Carter, making it entirely plausible that the paranoia which led Kane to believe someone wanted him dead before the estate massacre still holds merit, meaning Kane's homecoming could drag another deadly threat straight into GC and put everyone he cares about at risk, and while Kane steels himself for Victor's coming retaliation and whatever shadowy hunters may still lurk, Phyllis Summers stirs the pot by doubling down on her latest scheme, partnering with Billy Abbott to weaponize Kane against Chancellor Industries in a move that alarms Daniel Romalotti Jr., who voices his suspicions about Phyllis's dangerous games but still takes time to rescue Tessa Porter when she struggles to wrangle Aria Porter Copeland alone in the park, briefly easing tensions amid the chaos, though his warning about Phyllis proves prescient as her maneuvering threatens to tangle Kane even further in conflicts he may not survive, especially with Victor plotting from the shadows and Kane's long list of enemies, from those at the estate to potential victims of Colin's schemes, leaving him a marked man, all while Nick Newman, woozy and wounded from his ordeal, shares a kiss with Sharon on the train ride home, complicating their dynamic once his injury is treated and reality sets in, a subplot that ripples back into the Newman orbit just as Amanda Sinclair restores self-service, calls in authorities, and Nikki Newman vows not to cede Chancellor for Nick's freedom until she sees her son safe, ultimately reuniting with him on the train as helicopters and backup arrive, cementing Kane's role as the catalyst for one of the most harrowing nights in recent Genoa City memory, but the nightmare is far from over as whispers of vengeance, from Victor's methodical dismantling to more lethal forms of retribution from unseen enemies, cast a dark shadow over Kane's return, with Amy shattered, Lily torn, Phyllis scheming, Daniel wary, and the specter of yet another body count looming, proving that the fallout from the Nice Estate disaster will echo far beyond its blood-stained grounds. And that Kane, despite surviving Carter, Chance's sacrifice, and Lily's accusations, may yet pay the ultimate price once Victor's plan and any lingering killers close in on Genoa City. Chance and Carter's fate, the final Italian twist, and Kane's horror. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Monday, July 28, 2025. Fans will find out what happened to Carter and Chance Chancellor. Continue reading for the final surprise in the Italian Chateau tale. Trigger warning, this post discusses suicide. Please be aware before continuing to read. If you need mental health care, dial 911. Kane Ashby's horror. Let us begin with Carter, who will be confronted by Kane Ashby. Carter would acknowledge to killing Damien Kane, but he did so for Aristotle Dumas. Of course, the tycoon will try to keep his cool while gathering information from Carter. When Kane eventually loses his wrath, Carter realizes he has been deceived. Lily Winter's hostage situation. Victor Newman and Chance are listening to Carter's confession via a nearby hedge. When Chance attempts to communicate with Carter, the assistant finds that his phone number has changed. Carter pulls out his revolver and kidnaps Lily Winters. Chance Chancellor died. According to the Young and the Restless spoilers on Monday, July 28, Chance's heroism will lead to his death. Fans were previously known that Connor Floyd was leaving YNR to take over Billy Flynn's former role on Days of Our Lives, Chad DiMera. The only unknown was how Chance would depart. Returning to the story, Kane plans to present himself as a hostage. After Lily is liberated, Carter points his revolver at his boss. Chance goes to the rescue, but he dies of a gunshot wound. Carter's suicide. Fans can also expect to find out what happens to Carter on Monday's episode. Carter opts out of prison since he knows it is coming. Sally Spectra's bombshell. After leaving Sally Spectra, she returns to the train with a shocking revelation. Furthermore, Jack Abbott is surprised to learn what has occurred. Jack will also discover the blood on his loved one's hands. Billy Abbott's future. Chance's death could feed Billy Abbott's drive for vengeance. The best choice is for Kane to stay in Italy and leave everyone alone. Instead, he'll tell Lily about his plans to return to Genoa City. So, is Kane eligible for redemption? That means 3 people would still be alive if he had not been playing games. Another death, Chance's Law and Order, and Nick's background.